can't
Mark, we're on.
you can't get through there with a canoe.
Dredgings.
We'll call the meeting to order. Cross Lake City Council, Monday, November 9th, at the Cross Lake City Hall at 7 p.m. We welcome you here. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to approve the additions to the agenda. Revised resolution was added. Report by the North Memorial Ambulance, and an addition to the mayor's report. Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I can second it.
Motion Schrupp, second Hecox. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the consent calendar. All these items listed are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless citizens or council members so request. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Mark?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I am. I was just looking for
Motion Wessels.
this one piece.
I'll second that. Second row. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Critical issues. Cindy?
Good evening, gentlemen. Cindy Mugato with the Cross Lake Chamber of Commerce, and I have a couple things to talk to you tonight. They're to bring you up to speed on. In your consent agenda that you just approved, you approved a donation to Cross Lake as the recipient of 4 brand-new bicycle racks made possible by Crowing Energized. Crowing Energized was founded in 2014, and it's a partnership between Crow Wing County, Essentia Health, and SHIP. Oh, it's the green bicycle rack in the hallway. So we got 4 of them. SHIP stands for Statewide Health Improvement Program. Crowing Energized is a community health and wellness movement that aims to help encourage, engage, empower the community members of all ages to make healthy choices in and around Crow Wing County. So as a result of this project and the grant, a total of 54 of these bike racks are being installed throughout Brainerd, Pequot Lakes, Nisswa. A lot of them are going into the Crosby area, and then 4 of them are coming to Cross Lake. So I'm working with Ted, and we're going to determine the best locations around town, around Cross Lake for the racks. I don't think we're going to install them till spring, but we just wanted to let you know that they're here and publicly thank Crowing Energized for this donation. Any questions?
Do we need to acknowledge them or thank them officially?
You approved the donation in your
Yes, we did.
consent calendar. Will that automatically trigger a thank you for your donation letter, or does that not work that way?
That would be super if we did that. Can we do that, Shar?
Sure.
Good. Okay.
Okay, and thank you, Ted, for accepting the racks, storing them all winter, and then helping to figure out where they're going to go in the spring. The second thing I want to bring you up to speed on is a program called Lakes Proud. So for several years, business owners within the chamber have been brainstorming about how they can compete with online stores and big stores in our area that have million-dollar budgets. So the chamber approached St. Cloud State University's Business Marketing Department with a request for information on Shop Local programs. And the Brainerd Lakes area is unique in that our members are a part of a regional chamber, so Shop Local means different to everyone, every business. The opportunity for the students was built into their curriculum, and a group used it as their final project before graduation. So they researched several comparative cities across the United States and provided us with just a ton of information, ideas, and statistics. So we learned a few things. Communities who embrace shop local or local first programs saw greater year-to-year sales increases than those communities without this type of campaign. So the green lines indicate communities that do have shop local programs, and the blue lines indicate that communities that don't market their communities with a shop local program. So you can see that the year-to-year sales increases among those independent businesses were much greater in the communities that did have the programs. So with this information and a ton of other information the students provided, the chamber members got together. We've had months and months of meetings and planning, and we're rolling out a campaign called Lakes Proud. Lakes Proud is a mission to grow the regional economy by creating an understanding that it does matter where consumers and business dollars are spent. You probably have seen these statistics. For every $100 spent in a national or in a local independent store, $68 returns to the community. If $100 is spent in a national chain, $43 returns to the community. And if you spend that $100 online, virtually nothing comes back to the community. Except there is an exception for some of our businesses do have an online presence. But when you're shopping online, you know the names of the stores, you know if the products are coming from China or what you're getting. So through Lakes Proud marketing, we hope to create awareness and we hope to steer everyone's buying habits. Dollars spent here strengthen our businesses, and those are the businesses that provide goods, they provide the services, the jobs, they pay the taxes, and they help us grow and enrich our community. So each and every person in our community can contribute for a healthier economy in the Lakes area. It's just about working together to accomplish something bigger for each of our hometowns and our region. So we want everyone, all of you, to stop before you make every purchase and say, are the dollars I'm spending today helping to strengthen my community? If the goods and services you seek, they're not available in Cross Lake, perhaps they're not comparative in Cross Lake, then by all means, search neighboring communities, search countywide, and search statewide before going on to that online worldwide internet. So the Brainerd Lakes Chamber has teamed up with the Nisswa and the Cuyuna Chamber, and we're hoping to bring this awareness to every single household and every single business within our communities. So we're asking you to visit our website at lakesproud.com. And we have calculated that if every individual in Cass and Crow Wing County commit to just one $50 purchase at a local independent retailer, $42 million will stay in our region. And if every business commits to one $500 purchase at a local store, another $18 million stays in our community. So we figure that's a pretty easy path to keeping $60 million per year in our community. So with all of that said, we are asking the cities in the Crow Wing and Cass counties to make the pledge. And I believe Shar has a resolution in your packet that you may all be familiar with, but this is it. And I can read it if you want me to. But basically it says that the city of Cross Lake is in support of the Lakes Proud campaign. And you hereby and actively will encourage your employees, your staff, yourselves, and your friends and your neighbors to get on board with this campaign and help us to make it a regional campaign. So I have stickers for everyone. We want you to display them proudly. We would like this sticker, pass it down, to be everywhere. So when people see it, they know that if it's on your automobile or if it's on your business or it's on your portfolio that you carry around your business papers in, that you have made that pledge to do that. So do I ask for the resolution, or do you just do it in your agenda, or how does that work?
It's already included in your packet. It's up, whatever your pleasure is as far as adoption.
Since she has asked for it and is representing it, we could just as well approve it right here. I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution that she has presented to support Lakes Proud as a community. Fair enough?
Yes.
I'll second that. Gary, isn't this something we had several conversations about this 2 or 3 years ago, about getting us to buy this. You were really active with this a long time ago. So we kind of already are, but we'll do the resolution. I'll second that and we'll, okay?
Okay,
As a city at least, I think
Yes.
we were already encouraging that. Not that it always was done, but
motion Rose, second Wessels, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Cindy.
thank you very much. The chamber has always touted shop local programs, but we feel like having a unique brand within the whole region will be helpful and just to keep it top of mind for everyone.
Super.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Cindy. It's a good reminder. Public forum. Uh-oh, Pat Netco.
Now, why do you say uh-oh?
Well, you always make sense, that's why.
Pat Netco, Lake Country Crafts and Cones, Cross Lake. I would just like to comment on the Lakes Proud program, that I've always been one to shop local, but this has opened my eyes to really thinking about it. I recently was searching online, and I could easily have bought off Amazon a couple of neon signs that I needed, and thought, no, I'm going to search local, and I found somebody in Brainerd who can do it. So even buying in Brainerd is helping our local dollars to stay here.
Absolutely.
So instead of immediately pushing that button and getting something off Amazon, take that extra minute, because there are a lot of things available right here in our area. Thanks.
Thank you, Pat. Anybody else? Public forum. Moving on to the mayor's report. Have several things tonight. One, Patty Norgard, our EDA chair, wasn't able to be here tonight, so she asked me to carry the message to remind all of you that we have 2 significant events coming up here in the early part of December. On December 4th at 7:30 p.m., we are privileged to host the Heartland Symphony Orchestra, and they will be performing at the Cross Lake Lutheran Church, and it's a no charge, and you're all invited, and we hope to see you there. Secondly, Holiday at the Dam. It's a family event on the 5th, Saturday, December 5th, at 1 in the afternoon. It's a family event. We've got some new displays. Santa will be there. We're going to kick off the holiday season. We're going to have a bonfire. You can have a marshmallow roast, or you can make s'mores out of them. Anything else I should add to that?
No, we're going to have a good Santa this year, right?
I hope it's big enough. Don't tell the world. Anyway, that's where we are. And then I would like to present for the council's approval a commission appointment to the EDA. Joe Smith is a recent resident of Cross Lake. She comes to us with lots of experience. She's an accountant. She's worked for the University of Minnesota in the Ag Department. She also has worked at state hospitals. She has been a controller at Control Data, and she's an accomplished volunteer, and I would like to recommend to the council that they appoint her to the EDA Commission, and I need a motion.
I matter also move.
I'll second.
Mayor Wessels makes a motion, Heacock seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That's it. City Administrator's report.
Item 1, a memo dated November 4th from the city clerk regarding a contract for use of the banner poles at the Pine River Dam. Been having problems with the banners ripping while they're hanging on the poles, and staff recommendation is to not renew the contract with the fee, including the fee of $300. So if you have any questions, I think Ted or Shar would be poised to answer those for you.
Well, I have a question. Start them off. How long have they been up there? And Always enjoyed them. They are an interesting addition, a welcoming addition to people as they enter the city. What's up, Ted?
And kind of got a little funnel there, where the wind comes across the dam right there,
Yep.
and it's tough to keep a banner there. We've had them rip on numerous occasions. We actually had it come down and hook a vehicle and tear his ladder rack off his vehicle. We haven't done anything for the past couple of years with it because of that. And I just don't see any sense going and putting the city's money or time into it anymore. Unless you direct us to, we can put welcome flags back up.
Well, they're flagpoles, aren't they?
They're flagpoles that we were using to hold banners across the street.
Oh, that's right.
Right by the bridge.
Yep.
There's a map on the back of that piece if you're looking for where it is. Right
Well,
across.
do we run flags from them, or we just use them to hold a banner that crosses the street?
So far, we've just used them for banners. You did authorize at a past council meeting several years ago to buy Welcome to Cross Lake, and
Sure.
Cindy and I didn't pursue it, but you did authorize this at one time.
Yeah. Now, those are the ones that are at the entrance to the campground?
No, right across where the old wastewater plant was for the Army Corps.
Back there.
There's one on each side, just as you get across the bridge.
That's the only one you're talking about?
Yeah, there's one on each side of the street. They were the property of the Army Corps. They were gonna throw them away. We asked them if we could install them on the boulevard there, which is the county, or the Army Corps property.
Sure. Got the picture.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Well, the only, I would agree with Dan that we haven't been using them, let's go ahead and get rid of them. But I know about the time we do that, we're gonna have a whole bunch of people approach us. Well, wait, we could use those. So,
Yes?
should we maybe table it for a month and see if we get any such comments and then, or don't we have time with this contract? We could have a bunch of people approaching us, hey, we could use it for this, we could use it for that. And again, if it's something, not a banner, I understand Ted's concern, no more banners. But you could put flags up or something. I'm just concerned that there's gonna be a whole bunch of people that all of a sudden say, gee, we could have used it for this or that or something else if we gave them a chance to come forward.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember, we haven't used them for several years. I think that's very true, and I can remember having those banners up there. They look pretty tattered. Any other comments on this? You two ladies who represent the welcoming committee to Cross Lake, please comment.
The chamber used to put up all our events over there, St. Patrick's Day, the date of the event, Cross Lake Days, Winterfest, those types of banners. We could use them. The problem is the banners that we would have, the poles bend and they give in the wind. We used to have 2 oak trees, and they were diseased trees, so the trees got cut down. Therefore, then the poles were to replace the tree. The trees were great. They didn't move in the wind at all. The poles moved in the wind, ripped the banners to shreds, and they came down. We could buy banners that say, Cross Lake St. Patrick's Day Parade, but they're very expensive banners. They're a mesh that the wind flows through. So we just don't have the budget to buy banners like that. The other thing we could use them for is holiday decorations, Christmas trees or snowflakes or some kind of lights like that. We actually talked about that, but for $300, I don't know if it's worth it. That's.
Can I ask a question? How many, is it $300 for 5 years, or what's the length of the contract?
It's a 5-year contract.
That's $60.
Is this new? The cost of $300?
No.
So we had paid $300 5 years prior? I wasn't aware of that. We haven't used the banners, we haven't used the poles in the last,
2 seasons.
Yeah.
at least for a banner. I mean, we could hang, Welcome to Cross Lake flags on there.
They're how high? They're pretty high. You probably wouldn't see them driving in.
They're high. We had the kids painted them for Join Hands Day, one of the service projects. Pequot Lakes High School kids came over and painted them. They have ropes on them, so you can, hang a flag from them.
If there's no deadline on this, let's table this for a month and talk to some people like Cindy that might have some context that would say, gee, we'd really like those. And let's just table it for a month, and, yeah, I'll make that motion that we table it for a month.
I'll second that. But see what you want to do with them, because they're likely to be removed if we don't figure out a good use for them that isn't a banner across the road. Fair enough?
Fair enough?
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Oh, we
All
gotta
in
vote
favor?
yet. Aye.
All right. That was a motion by Wessel, second by Rowe, to table this for a month, or maybe indefinitely, I don't know.
Okay, if I could, just a couple other quick things. Your public hearing on your budget and levy is at your next regular meeting. That's on December the 14th.
What's that
Notices.
a public hearing for?
The budget. Budget and
Oh,
levy.
budget.
Notices will be sent out by the county. They're sent out sometime between the 10th and 24th or so of November, so usually it's at the end of that. So later this month, notices will be sent out to parcel owners in the city from the county, and that is an estimate of the proposed taxes for each one of the taxing jurisdictions. Kind of looks like, you've seen them before, kind of looks like a tax statement, but it's not. It has the estimates in it. And they'll come out later this month. Again, the hearing is at your next council meeting on December the 14th. And just one other thing, I still don't have any additional information regarding your health insurance or the employees' health insurance. There's information coming. I should get it this week. Depending upon how that information comes in and what it looks like, there may be a necessity for a special meeting. I'm not sure. We're getting into crunch time again. We're, in the 9th of November already, and we've got, if we're changing carriers, there's a whole application process. Everything is wheels have to turn pretty quickly. So if there's a change, you have to decide it, and we would have to have information to you before that. So possibility that there may be a necessity for a meeting in between now and December on health insurance. So I'll let you know as soon as we are able to.
That's right, we kind of expected that anyway, didn't we, Dan?
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you, Dan. Commission reports, planning and zoning.
Good evening.
Good evening, John.
Only thing that I have this evening is, at the last regular meeting, we brought forward the changes to the sign ordinance. You guys took a look at it and felt that the 700 square feet maximum size for the multi-business pylon signs was too much. So we took it back to the planning commission. We looked at some photos and we talked about, what was a better size maximum. And they came up with some changes that we want to run past you, and then if it's more in line with what you're thinking, we'll bring it back to the planning commission and have a public hearing and process, and then bring this back to you here. What we had said was that the maximum sign size shall not exceed 200 square feet. The height cannot exceed 24 feet, and that was based on going out and looking at the signs that are around town right now. The exchange sign, the holiday sign are all 24 feet high. 8 feet of ground clearance, so that if someone's pulling out of the driveway that's there or the road, they're going to be able to see underneath it.
Is that part of the 24 feet?
Correct, it is.
Okay.
The width shall not exceed 16 feet, and each business that puts a sign on there, the largest that they could be is 32 square feet. Now, if you figure if there's 8 businesses, that's more than, that would be 256 square feet, which Dave Schrupp had commented on. But we said, if that's the case and there's 8 businesses on there, they're going to have to reduce their individual sign size to not exceed the 200 square feet. And that's what the Planning Commission felt was appropriate. Now, if you have any other changes that you would like to make, we could, incorporate. We got plenty of time because we don't plan on having a public hearing for this again with the Planning Commission until their December meeting. So what we're looking for is this more in line with what you were thinking. I don't believe we're looking for a motion. We're just looking for everybody to nod and say, yes, this is it, and we'll proceed with.
For my edification, 18B I need some clarification on.
18B is commercial businesses that are approved for this through the conditional use process have to be within 3/4 of a mile of the sign location. And what we're saying there is if somebody puts in a development or a new business park and there's a drive that goes in, I don't think that any are going to be more than a half a mile deep, but they could be. But we're just saying that someone, if you're going to have a sign on this multi-business pylon sign, your property has to be within 3/4 of a mile of the sign. And then they would lose their ability to put another road sign out in front of their property if they so choose to go with this.
I can't find it. Where does it say it should be located on the development, I'll call it the development property, the collective development property?
I looked at it again, and it doesn't say that, but we can put that in there if that's what you, if you want it to be part of that business plat.
Well, that's what you told me.
I did, and I looked through it again. I thought it was, but I was mistaken, and I looked through it, and I did not see that. But if you want us to add that it be part of the plat, we can put that in.
Comments?
I just personally don't see someone, 3/4 of a mile down the road
Well, that's,
wanting to put it on there. It would only be if it's, a shot off the main drive that they would want to be a part of this. But we can add it in, that's not a problem.
well, the way I read this, it looked like, well, let's just pick, I don't want to pick on anybody, but let's just say that Town Square could have a sign somewhere near Mossieres or something like that, if I was to read this
Don't we
the
already-
way
that's
I read it, without
off-premise.
attending all the meetings and achieving the
off-premise.
understanding that you gentlemen have.
Yeah. I don't see that happening because they're still going to have to go through a conditional use process to get through the whole process to put the sign up and to say who's going to be on it. I don't know, Chris, do you see someone that far away?
No, I think the intent, as John had said, is for a depth that should not, because as you read, I think you could easily read it as you said, it would be it'd end up being more of an off-premise sign. So I think we could add in very simple language and say it has to be on the development property. I don't
Well,
think that's an issue, so.
Yeah, something like that on
Yeah,
or
I
near,
think that makes
because
sense.
Town Square could use one of these, but they don't have property where the traffic is.
Right.
So that's an interesting, I can understand that at that point, the permit might grant a variance and allow one
Right. I agree.
somewhere else, but I would
completely
rather
agree with
not
that. Yep,
have to fight that battle
Yep.
every time somebody comes in.
I agree.
But that's,
But John,
those are
we're
my
not looking for any
comments.
motion today. We just want to make sure that we're kind of heading in the right direction based on last month. And the goal would be to have a public hearing in December and bring it back to you in January.
I appreciate the work you
Good.
guys have done, it looks good.
And there's a definition that's missing in this packet right now, but I just wanted to fill that, plus 18I, we might want to flesh it out, but the idea is it's supposed to be a contiguous development. So, for Town Square, to use that example, they'd have to team up with the hotel or they'd have to all connect somehow to make this
Yep.
applicable.
Right,
And then whoever's on the front of that project, like the hotel or Pines Peaks or whoever it's going to be, would have to relinquish their current sign and replace it with a multi-business sign for this to happen. Because whoever's in the, like, as you said before, you can't have your own sign plus the multi-business pylon. So that's how it would have to, that's how this is worded. So, our,
we might get a little competition over that.
well, my
I
point
can
is,
see that.
Mossieres would not work because it's not contiguous with Town Square. Unless they could somehow get a CUP with every business owner connecting between Mossieres and Towns. So that, by definition, that would not work. So that's,
I understand.
But we'll just put a little clarifying language in to make it clear. And we plan to see you back, we'll bring it back to you guys in January for approval, I hope.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we okay with that?
Yes.
All right. Do we need a motion on that? Consensus is okay? All right. Cross-site Communications, Kevin Larson.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Councilman.
Kevin.
In your packet, Debbie has sent to Shar our highlights for October 2015. Items 1, 2, 3, and 4, I will not go over, but I'll pick it up on number 5. I'd like to give an update report. We've been working diligently on the installations at our customer homes on Phase 1 of the conversions for the new electronics in the fiber area, which is end of life and needs to be replaced by 2017. As of today, November 9th, we have completed 166 conversions out of our goal of 250 for 2015. That's significant because we gave training in August to the local technicians, and they've really been only at it since first part of September. So we'll definitely meet our goal there. Just keep one thing in mind. To begin with, there was 1,300 of these, so we have still a long road to hoe here to get these done by 2017. So we got our work cut out for us, but we got a darn good start. Number 6, the Communications Vision Subcommittee will meet early November and review the 5-year profit and loss projections. Well, we held a meeting last Tuesday, November 3rd. The committee continues to evaluate possible visions for the communications company and plans to make a presentation to the advisory board at the next meeting on November 24th of the research that they have been doing. The committee also anticipates the advisory board will be requesting a joint city council and advisory board meeting in the future. Debbie and I looked at some dates today, and we'd like to throw out there or ask, will December 10th at 10 a.m. work for a joint meeting for the city council? And fully realizing that you may not be able to commit tonight, but we'd like to throw it out there right now, and if Shar could help us by looking at the calendar and so forth, so.
When is that again, Kevin?
December 10th at 10 a.m. for a joint meeting with the advisory board and the city council. Because the subcommittee is going to be visiting with the council, or excuse me, the subcommittee will be visiting with the advisory board, and we just anticipate that with some of the information they're going to deliver, they'd like to include you at this point in time.
What day of the week is that?
That is a Thursday
Thursday.
of the second week, yeah.
Work for
And
you?
so,
Works for me.
I'm okay.
I think it's okay.
I'll have Debbie work with Shar to complete that, or at least,
10 a.m. here, that's right?
this is the best room for it. This is the best room for it, yeah.
All right.
All right, I have a couple more things I'd like to share with you. Once again, programmers, TV programmers continue to raise the cost for us providing TV programming. And with this, some difficult decisions were made, and you helped us do that. We adopted the position not to spend the extra, it's a little over $10,000 for the extra Timberwolves games this year. And as much as we would love to offer those games to our customers, we cannot justify charging our customers an additional TV increase for just a few games. And we do apologize for the inconvenience that this may cause. And if you have any questions or concerns, we ask that everybody call the office. I'll give you a little backup here. The first game that was blacked out was November 2nd. Fox Sports North decides which ones they black out and which ones they don't. As you know, that was an emotional night because of the passing of Flip Saunders. We received phone calls from 3 customers, and we had 1 customer come in to express their dissatisfaction of not showing that game. To keep it in perspective, we currently have 1,279 active cable customers, which means that 0.3% of our customers raised a concern to us. That's not saying that there wasn't other concerns out, but those are the ones that took the initiative to call our office and so forth. So we want everybody to know that the advisory board has made a very conscious decision to not charge the majority of our customers for these games, and that's why we didn't opt in to pay that additional fee.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
I had several of those people approach me in person.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. They didn't want to pay the fee, but they laid it to communication. And I think that we should have probably somehow, maybe we did, but it wasn't where they saw it, communicate with the people that we are going to be at the mercy of Fox and X number of Timberwolves games are going to be blacked out. And I can understand that the Flip Saunders game, people wanted to see, even though we didn't win,
Right.
but they would have loved to have seen it anyway because it was a gallant effort on the part of the team to honor the former coach.
And I agree totally with you, and we probably should have done more marketing out front, but we do have it on the webpage and so forth.
Well,
But-
we need to notify the people because we've had a few people get pretty upset over these games, and you know, I don't know, I don't want to insult anybody, but
Yeah.
they get pretty wound up
Yep.
about
I will-
certain teams, certain games.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I will also throw it out there that you can pull up on YouTube, you can see the full half-hour tribute to Flip on YouTube at this time, free of charge. You just go on the internet and type in YouTube and type in Flip, and the half-hour pregame is on YouTube.
But I think that when we have those kinds of fights going on, people blame us for it.
Sure. Yep.
And when we've got those kind of battles going on, we ought to, you know, the commission knew it, we knew it. We just, I don't know how we get out to those 1,000 customers.
Yep.
But somehow we got to do that.
Next, our Internet Help Desk opening. Once again, we have not been able to fill that position at this time. We have not received any new resumes for this new position in the last month. In the interim, a CTC staff person is filling in until we can hire a replacement. To give you some background, once again, we have interviewed 9 people, invited 4 back for second interviews. 2 withdrew before the second interview, and the other 2 did not meet the qualifications. We have advertised another 2 weeks with no new applications. So right at the moment, we're continuing to use CTC staff for this position, and we'll be reviewing all of this with the advisory board on November 24th once again. And finally, I would like to invite everyone to our holiday open house on December 9th between 1 and 4 p.m. We'll have refreshments and pictures with Santa, and we're also doing a food drive for the Cross Lake Food Shelf. Donations can be dropped off between December 1st and December 17th. So we invite everyone to an open house on December 9th from 1 to 4. Mr. Mayor, that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Kevin. Any other questions or comments? Public Works Commission, Mr. Ted Strand.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council.
Good evening, Ted.
We have 2 items tonight for you. At its November 3rd meeting, the Public Works Commission met, at its November 2nd meeting, to discuss the sewer plant upgrades that are on the 5-year capital plan. Many upgrades are required excavation point to point to install new and replace parts. Myself believes that this redundant digging pipeline occur if the upgrades are done over several years compared to doing them all at one time. It's not just the digging, but I'm afraid we're going to get something that's not going to get in. We're going to have to dig up what we just replaced, and I just don't, it's not the most economical way to do it. And I think it'll drive the costs up. Additionally, we're going to have to pay for, people to come and mobilize 3-4 times, each time there's a new contract. So the Public Works Commission recommend the City Council approve a proposal from WSN to provide a one-time overall project schedule and estimate the cost for upgrading the treatment plant. The cost that we have in the budget right now, we got off of a free analysis that another engineering firm done. This will give us a better handle on actually what these things are going to cost to do, and look at timeline and things like that. WSN has given us a proposal to do this for $9,500 lump sum. So we'd like permission from the council to move forward with this and get WSN going with this project. So we need a motion and a second, and the council's approval.
That's the planning project?
We talked about it at the meeting, and the only thing that we could talk about were numbers on the capital plan. So I told the guys, I said, you have nothing to make a decision on. We need something that has more meat and potatoes to it. We need a schedule, things that can be done at the same time. None of that is available today, and I don't think Ted's got the time to put any of that stuff together. So we all decided to understand about, how many dollars was it?
$9,500 to do
No,
this.
no, the
overall-
total extent for the next 4 years was.
About 750,000 total.
So to make a decision on that, to our great sewer plant, we gotta look at something more than a capital plan. We have to know what's going on and why you need to do it, and that's, and the cost.
I would make that motion if I knew that that is not cast in concrete, but it gives you an idea of what things are and the sequence of events and the approximate timing, but it's not rigid, something you can work with. It's a plan, a living document, I'll call it. If that's what you're up to, you've got my motion.
It's a tool.
All right,
Is that right, Dave?
we need a second.
I'll second that.
Motion by Rose, second by Schrupp. All in favor of an effort to put together a planning document with costs and sequences and approximate timeframes, but not rigid? Say aye.
I have a question,
Aye.
if I could first.
Yes, sir.
This is just this isn't an approval of the plan, this is just a proposed plan. So it goes back to the commission again.
Yes.
Before it comes here, so we're not approving the work at this point.
Yep.
We're approving somebody drawing up a plan for us. All right, okay, I'm fine.
If I can too, during the discussion at the commission meeting, the first one I was able to attend, hopefully there'll be more in the future, but we also talked about, all right, if we've got $750,000 worth of work, how are we gonna pay for that? And if we gotta do it all at once, what are we gonna do? And you might recall that during the budget discussions, we talked about this bond issue that's out there that's ending. And when that bond issue ends, there's gonna be about, let's say for round figures, $150,000 that will be available to be used for this project. So if you bond for it, you could take that money, which is already being used for debt service somewhere else, but take that money and use it to service debt on this project. Because, I mean, you don't have $750,000 worth of cash, you'd have to bond for this, but you could take that money and the money that's already there on debt service in another project that's ending and use it for this. So timing-wise, it could really work out, could work out well. And you've got, as Brad has talked about, interest rates are great right now. And it'd be worthwhile. You're gonna get interest rates for 1%, 2%, 3%. I don't know what, it's pretty cheap, so.
And because this is Public Works, Dave's got more of an understanding too of anywhere this might be around a road project that's coming up ahead too, that could be incorporated in, if there are any. Maybe there's none like that, but
Well, just as a comment, we did talk about it, about the road projects, but we're kind of waiting for you guys to finalize the budget before we bring that forward to you. So after the 14th meeting, we'll be bringing something forward to you on that, I believe.
okay. For meeting on the 14th, not
Yes.
the 14th meeting.
At the meeting on the December 14th, yes.
Yes. Like our
You okay,
subdivision
Mark?
advisory. I'm good. I'm ready to
All
vote.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Ted. What else you got?
Well, the last one is the Public Works Commission would like to hold a joint meeting in January with the council. This is to do with the Dream Island Bridge. It's to get the council and the mayor and everybody, and staff, everybody up to the same speed, and we should have some drawings and hopefully get some more direction on which way we're gonna go at that time.
Do you have to wait that long? I was surprised that you guys put that out that far. I was sitting in the back of that meeting. Seems to me you're a lot closer to putting this together than the crowd would have indicated. What have you had, 3 of those meetings now? And you're looking for a 4th?
You mean just on the Dream Island?
Mhm.
At the commission meetings, the last 7, I believe, have been dealing just with this bridge.
Yeah,
A lot of public interest in this.
well, yeah, but a lot of
comment.
public interest, but I watched it from the first meeting I was at, they were in favor. And then as we disclosed the options, they became more or less agreeable to a given plan. And I'm just wondering if we ought to tighten that up a little bit and move forward. I mean, to me, it looks to me like you're going to either, one, repair the existing bridge, which I don't think is really doable. I agree with Ted on that, with all of the animals and stuff working on it and age. The other one looks like a 50-foot span, but we get hung up on navigability, and I'm not sure that we can really conquer that. So it's up to you guys. I just,
That's why we want to have the meeting with the full commission and discuss it.
Yeah,
Or the full council and discuss it.
I think there's time. I don't think the bridge is gonna collapse, the one that we have. And I think there's time to come up to speed. And we are waiting for some information from the state bridge engineers. We got a little email today that looks good, but, we continue to listen to the public and get their ideas, and there is a difference in opinion on island residents and non-island residents. And, there's limits to what we can do there.
absolutely.
So some of the meetings have been somewhat testy, to say the least. And I spoke on behalf of all of you, saying that I wasn't quite sure that you all understand where we are with this and what we've done. So I said it might be good to have a meeting
Right.
so that you guys can all come up to speed and know what the rest of the group does. So.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Reese?
I just wanted to say that, it's quite possible we could have a report finalized up earlier than January. If you wanted to have a joint meeting or a hearing, we could probably do that in December, if you wanted to. I think the comment was made at the last Public Works Commission that at least some of the discussion that was taking place was that we've got time, let's take the time, and I think that's where the commission said, okay, well, let's have a joint meeting in January,
Okay.
so.
There's one possible financial aspect that we might want to know, and that's, I believe we have about $375,000 in the budget, capital budget for next year for the bridge. And the state has decided that the size of our city will be treated like a township, possibly, and that would limit our outlay of cash to about $20,000, plus things that, you'll probably have to explain the rest.
Right, that's what we're trying to focus and narrow in on, is exactly, what the range of local share might be in this project. We keep going back to the Sunrise Island Bridge, and that was before this new legislation took place. And, in a $650,000 project, the city's local share was roughly $175,000, and you assessed 50% of that. The legislation that's occurred lowers the local share significantly, possibly down to $10,000 for construction, $10,000 for engineering. But as Dave mentioned, we've been discussing, there are some other things that might become local share if, excessive approach work is required or some other things like that. So that's what we're trying to ferret out and do our due diligence and figure out what the local share might be.
How long will that state proposition be open and available to us?
Well, it's an ongoing program with the state.
But they just started it,
But,
right?
whether or not the bridge bond account, are you talking about the legislation that was just changed?
I'm talking about the funding. I guess I
funding.
went right to the bucks,
Yeah,
I
the funding
apologize.
program's been there. But whether or not, you know, it's been allocated funds is the main question. You know, right now, it's been expended, and we've got a bonding year coming up. Well, the legislature will be considering through February through May what kind of funds to put into the bridge bond program. And then it's first come, first serve, who has, you know, approved plans.
So we could have plans submitted next year and then find out there's no funds and we'd have to wait a year. So,
So sounds to me like it's really in our best interest to get our act together and move. But
One of the comments I heard, I wasn't at that meeting, is that that bridge isn't going anywhere. It should last 5 years like it is. Probably, of course, that's, you know, that could be 10, that could be 2 or 3, would depend upon a lot of factors, but it should last just fine safely.
Measures have been taken to, you know, splint the timber that was damaged. And, you know, the main thing that's of concern would be, you know, an excessive load vehicle going over the bridge. But
Okay.
from the standpoint, the first question is, well, can a fire truck get across it? And yes.
Yeah, the person I was talking to said there isn't an urgency there because it's fine for a short time.
For a
until-
short time,
Let's
but we
make
don't
sure
know.
let's make sure we're doing it right.
you know, the Sunrise Island Bridge, we were caught up in this same debate until the bridge started to fail. And a noticeable failure, it started to tip over. And we posted it for no garbage trucks and no fire engines, and we got results. It's a tough thing to say it that way, but all of a sudden, we came to a decision, and it was a go. And even at that point, the state, funded half of it? Federal or state program?
More than
whatever it was.
half of it, yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
If January is the date that Mr. Schrupp and Ted are comfortable with for that joint meeting, I'd make a motion, let's do that.
okay, motion, Wessels, need a second
I'll
for a
second it.
January meeting?
you want to pick a date?
Peacock, seconds?
Yep.
What is the date of that meeting? I
What's
just
the
made a
date?
motion on.
Well,
don't
we
know.
were leaving it up to you. We didn't know anybody's schedule, vacations and things like that.
Okay,
We're having a commission meeting on the 4th. We could do it that one if you wanted to at 4. We do it, our meetings are at 4 o'clock. You could do it at that time if you
Why
want.
don't we do
you want to
that?
do it with that one?
That'd be great.
Gary, you gonna be around?
Yeah. I'll make a point to be around.
Never know when a snowbird's kind of just vamoose,
I'll be here. January 4th?
yeah.
January 4th at 4 o'clock will be our next commission meeting.
That motion includes that date?
Yes.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ted.
Public Works is here, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
4 PM, huh? If I remember right. Okay. Mr. Person, attorney's report.
Yeah, the only action item on my report is the draft settlement agreement, which is a closed session item since we're in litigation. Although I'm hopeful that we'll have a executed settlement agreement maybe at the end of this meeting, to either report if they want to wait around, or I could email it to newspaper or any other interested people after approval. But would want to have a chance to talk about it in closed session first. So that's I'm looking for a motion to, at some point before we're done tonight, go into closed session like we have the last couple of meetings on this, and review proposed settlement agreement.
You need a closed meeting
Just in
like
case,
tonight?
tonight, no, now, I mean, sometime before we're done tonight, just in case there's concerns or questions before we adopt it.
All right, before we close the meeting, we will adjourn to a closed session. Any other old business? Mr. Administrator, you got any old business?
You'd ask if you
Mark?
had any old business.
You guys,
Any
you all
new
right?
business?
New business. Public forum. The cast of characters hasn't changed, but if you got some more to say, We will therefore, how do you want to say this, adjourn to a closed meeting to discuss a contract that we have before us?
Yeah, motion to go into close would be appropriate.
Motion to go in a closed meeting.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Yeah, Dave's second, okay.
We'll say motion Wessel, second Schrupp.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
All right.
gotta find that.